Hello, everybody. It's me again, and this is Tarot Talk Live, and my name is Catherine. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that this is for entertainment purposes only. So please keep that in mind as you listen to this message. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, loves. Welcome to Tarot Talk Live. And my name is Catherine. For everybody who is new to the channel, welcome. And everybody, please hit that like button for me. Thank you. And also, if you are new, please help us reach our goal of 100 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, you guys. We are going to have a live watch event once we get to 100 subscribers, and there will be lots of giveaways. If you go and check out my other channels, Queen Cancer Tarot, there are membership options there, and I will be gifting memberships during the watch party. So please go and check it out. And if you're not a Cancer and you are interested in your sign, your monthly love reading or collective reading, it doesn't always have to be love, but the messages are collective, so you take them how you resonate. But I do monthly sign readings every single month. I'm a little bit behind because, yes, I have a bandage on. I recently had surgery. So things are just kind of a little bit dwindled down. Also, I do take personal readings, but I am not taking any personal readings for the next few weeks. I will let you guys know when I am taking personal readings again. Okay? All right. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. And I did conclude the who, what, when, where, why, where, how series for conspiracy theories for Nancy Guthrie. So please go and check those out if you didn't get a chance. I did finally finish up the other half earlier today. Sorry. So, or yesterday, depending on when this message is airing. Okay. All right. But what we're going to do is just something a little bit different for this conspiracy theory. I believe this is episode number 67 or 68. I believe it's episode number 68, you guys. But for this particular episode, what we are going to be doing is we are going to look at different topics, should I say, things that have taken place throughout history, whether it's been in the distant past or recent past or something that is currently going on. But let's go ahead and start, and we're going to go in that order. Starting with number one, which is going to be the oldest incident to have occurred, is the Abraham Lincoln offing, we'll call it. Okay. All right. And so Abraham Lincoln offing. And we're gonna ask, is this real? Like, did this really happen? Or is this made up? Okay. Did these events actually happen, or were they staged, so to speak? Were they staged? Were they somehow orchestrated by some outside party? You know what I mean? Was it what the media and the news reports and all the other things said it was at surface level, or the people involved, okay? Or was it something behind the scenes that none of us know, something more sinister involved, okay? So, starting with the Abraham Lincoln offing. So, was this actually the person that they say they got behind bars? Was that the person responsible, basically? Or was there some sort of a setup, okay, and he was taken out? Do you know what I'm saying? Was that whole thing that took place, was that a thing or was it staged? And we are going to look at the True Emotional Oracle deck. Okay. And I have to shuffle these in a very delicate manner, guys. Just giving them a bit of a shuffle here. And I will cut the cards up. Very well. All right. And now we're going to fan the cards out. And we are going to pull. And then we will clarify with the tarot. Okay, that's how we're going to do this. Seems to be going well this way, so I'm going to stick to it. Okay, so Abraham Lincoln. And I'm going to pull 3. Let's go with 3 cards. Free. So I want to know, do they have the right person behind bars, basically? Okay, or was this staged? Free, shocking news. Oop. Messed up over you. So this is an energy of someone who is guilty. Oh, wow. And that's obviously a word that I can't show. So we're going to cover it up here with a marker. Okay. There we go. YouTube would not necessarily appreciate that word. And neither would my advertisers. So I'm not going to show it. And we have free. If you think about it, is the guilty person free? Let's see what the tarot message says here. And what was his name? It was Sir. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Sirhan, or something like that. Oh, what was something Sirhan? I know I'm on the right track. Who is involved in the Abraham Lincoln trial? Okay, I had to type it out because I couldn't say it out loud. Okay, sorry guys. John Wilkes Booth. Okay, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. I don't know what I was saying, but sorry, Sir Hans, sir. If you exist, that's funny. So, John Wilkes Booth, okay? Hmm. Now, who is blowing a horn like that? That is so annoying. Oh, it's so annoying. Hold on one moment. Yeah, definitely knew that it was no one for me because I would be clowning right about now. You do not blow horns. You call or you text before you come. So I'm going to expect you, right? So look at what popped out here. So judgment, the Four of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. This is all about working with someone else to take responsibility for something. This is someone who is taking on a burden. They're carrying a heavy responsibility for the team. I'm sorry about the broken nail that just happened earlier today. I am plenty pissed and I will be getting it fixed. I don't know when, but I definitely know it's got to happen. So yeah, and then we have judgment here with the Four of Swords. So this is all about someone trying to stay out of the public eye or someone who doesn't want something to come out. But it can also represent a reckoning. It can represent someone who's taking one for the team, somebody who's getting ready to go down for a while, perhaps a long while. That is interesting. And I want to look at something here. Hold on one second. See, it's saying there's somebody that helped. Okay, it says someone else attempted to off the Secretary of State the same night. And fled with Booth. So Booth fled with someone else. But then there were other people involved. See, conspirators, there were multiple conspirators involved. And what is so interesting, y'all, that I didn't realize was that the owner of the boarding house where the conspirators met became the first female ever taken out by the United States federal government. Okay? There was an original plot to take Lincoln away. to kidnap Lincoln, basically. And then there was also someone who worked at the theater who assisted in helping Booth to escape. So, what's interesting is that the original conspiracy was some sort of a plan to take Lincoln and exchange him for some Confederate prisoners that were held during the American Civil War. Interesting. But after the Confederate collapse became imminent, Booth changed the plan to just take Lincoln out completely. They were mad. Their little Confederacy was ending, so they were just going to take him out. Lincoln transitioned the next morning. Okay. At the Peterson house that was right across from Ford's Theater. Now, what happened was that Booth ended up being tracked down and taken by Union soldiers. Okay, so it was more of a act of, we're going to say, vengeance, right? That Booth actually went out. So it wasn't as though he got punished for what he had done. Do you understand me? So to me, it was almost like it was allowed. Like they were assisting him in doing this and getting away. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that the corruption started a long time ago, perhaps, and has only gotten more and more, what should be the word? Colorful? Since. All right, case number 2, or situation, and it's called Roswell. Okay, so we all know about the Roswell incident, don't we? Okay, so just in case, let's give it a whirl. Basically, this started in 1947. Okay, something crashed near Roswell, and Roswell, for those of you who don't know, is a small desert city. Okay, and it's in the desert, and we're gonna say the Arizona desert or New Mexico desert. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's near the Arizona border, but it's in New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico. But in 1947, something crashed nearby. The U.S. military initially said it was a flying disc. Then they quickly changed the story to a weather balloon. Okay, that flip sparked decades of speculation about aliens, secret experiments, and government cover-ups. Okay? So, those of you who may not have realized. But let's just see. Did Roswell actually take place? Was this a real thing and place? Okay? Or is this a myth? Is this reality or is this myth? Let's see. So we have funeral. And we all know what that represents. Okay. Some sort of an ending. Could it be the ending of some sort of a alien situation? A UFO? We have cope. So now we have a situation where, wow, I mean, when I see that cope card, it's like somebody is trying to deal with something that is just overwhelming. Okay? Overwhelming. Secluded. Definitely a very secluded location in the desert here. This is also an energy of, it says separation, right? So, whatever the crash findings were removed. Okay? Everything was taken away. Everything was sealed. Turning your back. However, this person is looking over their shoulder while their back is turned. So looking out in a secluded place with lookouts. So definitely a very tight knit situation and a very select and small group of individuals were charged with the job of going out there to this location site. People were woken up out of their sleep, certain select individuals. Okay. You know, this is giving me energy of something. Something happened here. What? Let's see. Let's look at the tarot messages. Okay, so we're just going to flip them out. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is reliable. And I'm sorry, this is like, we could stop here, but I'm going to pull a couple more. But this is a reliable energy. There's no reason to think that this isn't trustworthy. We have the Eight of Wands. This talks about fast moving, speed, coming through the air. Do you see that? Do you see this? Okay, so there's an energy of something moving at a high rate of speed. This also represents communication. Direct contact at a high rate of speed, something crashing is what I'm seeing. The Six of Cups. This is definitely nostalgic, something that you are going to remember for a long time. Whoever was witness to this, I feel like this is an energy of something, a reliable, real event of something coming flying through or crashing through the sky. This was a real, actual situation. You see all the pictures behind this person? This is all about nostalgia, thinking back and remembering something that actually took place. People have memories of this. This was a real thing under the deck, the Knight of Wands. So this was all about someone coming in after the fact. And I feel like this was a cover up. I feel like this is also the Knight of Wands is giving me an energy of someone coming in being very, The Knight of Wands is someone who is acting in a very, in a sense of I'm here to save, or I'm here because of a heroic sense. I'm here to save humanity, or I'm here, you know what I'm saying? There's some sort of hero. Coming in being aggressive is what I'm getting. I feel like people, if anything, people were threatened not to talk. People were convinced to forget about it or to file it away in the back of their mind and never speak about it. And we have the Ten of Cups. So again, this is giving me energy of really being a very secure home base. This is long term, being secure long term. So people were offered security. They were offered security, and some of them were threatened. Okay. So some people got threatened into silence, some were paid into silence. Okay. We have temperance here. So again, there's just an energy of some kind of coercion to stay quiet, being coerced into not talking about it. But this appears to have been very real, according to the cards. Moving on to number 3, the Marilyn Monroe overdosing event. It is what it is, folks. So let's just see what the cards say. Memories. Definitely a lot of memories there. Spiritual, we have chaos, downward spiral, spiritual awakening, and ego death. Definitely, they say there was a downward spiral with memories here. I feel like, to me, it's almost like this downward spiral was, it was created. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Don't get mad at me. You can have your opinion. See, we have karmic lesson. And just the fact that the two brothers that we all know, the two famous brothers that we all know that were involved in one of those involvements was not to be spoken of because it was to be of a matter of domestic security and national security. Those who know. And they say that Marilyn Monroe knew things that she may not have wanted to know if she knew the danger these things would have brought. Some say she intentionally knew these things, and she very well was aware of what the implications would be, but had other reasons for wanting to know. So, like as if she were placed in certain spaces to be in a certain vulnerable position to get certain information. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So let's see what else. Karmic lesson here. And losing sleep, worried, replaying events, thinking about you. And they say very, very much this is what was taking place because she was very much obsessed with really both of the brothers, but mostly with the current leader of the free nation, and was worried about something. Okay. But what was the karmic lesson? It's almost like having to pay for something that was done and being worried and up at night and thinking about things, replaying events over in her head. What was she so concerned about? Let's look at the tarot messages here. So let's just give it a little shuffle and then we'll cut the cards out. The sun. This is the truth. This is all about the truth, finding out something coming to light. Someone was having a downward spiral, and with spiritual awakening and memories, someone may have been getting ready to open up or tell the truth about something that happened or that they saw or even heard. What else? Wow. The Ace of Swords. This is all about truth, folks. This is it. There was some sort of truth or communication or something was coming out. There was something was about to come to the light, or she was having some sort of a downward spiral. She may have been participating in other things, but I feel like when people do that, they talk a lot. Do you understand? And I feel like there may have been phone calls, there may have been things said, and she also may have been lashing out because she wasn't able to see who she wanted to see when she wanted to see them, and was very upset about this and very vocal about it as well. What makes you think that during those conversations there wasn't a threat made? Because you know how us females can get when we want to be heard or want a response, we know how to go there. And what if she went there, y'all? What if she went there and said, "Hey, if you don't speak, I'm gonna tell this, or if you don't see me, you'll have trouble. There'll be karma to pay." Okay. And I feel like she may have been worried about the fact that there may have been some sort of revenge about one of these threats. And she may be up thinking about something that she may have said and that she went too far. And I feel like when the communication was cut off, I feel like that is what that was about. And that whole birthday song was very odd. If you know, you know. So, could that have been a situation or a cry out for some communication? Let's see. Karmic lesson and losing sleep. So, we have the Seven of Pentacles coming through. This is someone who is waiting on something to happen. The thing is that they're not being patient, really. They're frustrated about having to wait. And they're looking over at it as if it's going to happen quickly. Yeah, someone is frustrated about having to wait. Do you see what I'm saying? Or someone who's losing their patience here. Five of Pentacles. They are being set out in the cold. This is someone who's being alienated. Their phone calls are not being answered. They are not being spoken to. This is someone who is definitely going through some sort of a very insecure downward spiral. Because, again, all of this is pentacles, right? There's a lot of pentacles here, but this person is on the outside and they're having to wait outside for someone to give them the time of day. They probably see this is all bad. And I feel like with that phone, I'm sure I saw on the scene, like the scene photos that they had, the crime scene photos. I think there was like a telephone that may have been off the hook or something about a phone on the scene. I just feel like there may have been, like, you know, how we have the drunken texts and the drunken phone calls. I feel like that was a drunken phone call or two made. But why would other people show up prior to the emergency people? You know, why were there people that were there that prior evening? Go and watch the stories, you guys. But this is definitely giving me different vibes here. Under the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. Someone is being very guarded about something. Yep, there it is. Authoritarian. The Emperor. Okay. So, the Emperor. Someone who's in charge. Someone who makes the rules is hiding something or being very guarded or has something they want to keep very close or private even. Wow. Do you see that? That card. So we can't make that up. All right, event number 3 or 4. We're moving through these a little quicker than I thought. Okay, this one close to my heart. We'll talk about it more soon. But the John Bonet ransom letter, the ransom note. Okay, the John Bonet ransom note. Was that a hoax? Was it fake, or was it a real thing? It was really a ransom note, or was it staged? Pop the question. And then we have what appears to be an engagement ring. Okay. This symbolizes commitment. This symbolizes marriage. Could have been someone that wore wedding rings or rings, someone who was committed, someone who lived in that home. Because that's what I'm getting for Juan's energy. Okay, somebody who is committed, who lives within the home. Heartbreak. There it is. Someone who is heartbroken. They felt very, very sad, very devastated about it. But with Pop the Question, this was like a spur of the moment, last minute plan to do this, to try to spare or create a diversion to protect someone. Secret accounts. I feel like it was someone is hiding something. And blocked. Spam calls and texts. Secret accounts, spam calls and texts. It's almost like someone is trying to block someone from finding out this secret that they know. Let's look to see what the tarot messages say. John Bonet, ransom note. Real or a hoax written to protect someone? So we have the Page of Swords. This is all about third-party communication. Hold on one moment. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So we have the Page of Swords here. All right. And again, this is communication, but it's nervous. It's someone who's nervous, making some effort to communicate. So think about that. Okay. And wow, the Ten of Swords. Someone nervous communicating. This is all about victimized, someone having done something, or someone who is doing something. There's been some sort of a major disaster, or this is all about betrayal, some sort of a nervous communication to betray someone or to throw someone off. You guys, let's see what else we have. Wow, all these swords. We have the king, I'm sorry, the Queen of Swords. Yes, wardens are queens. This is the Queen of Swords, Warden of Daggers. This is someone this is all about someone who is looking out. It's almost like someone who is trying to defend themselves. They're thinking in terms of, what if I'm going to be accused? What would I say? Or what is something that would throw someone off of the trail? This is someone who's highly intuitive, someone who knows what to say, or who's thinking ahead of time. You see what I'm saying? They're looking outward, outside the box. And look at this. You have the Queen of Cups. I wonder what sign Patsy was. Was she a Cancer? I don't know, but we have the Queen of Cups here. Or was she a Virgo? Something told me she was a Virgo. But we have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Again, highly intuitive, and that Queen of Cups is definitely a nurturer. Okay? Someone who's trying to fix things, someone who wants to fix the situation. And we have the Tower. And look at this house. Look at it. It's on fire. There's flames everywhere, all throughout the house. And this is a big home with multi levels and many different areas, it appears, right? And there's little fires popping up everywhere. Interesting. And look at this, the Empress, y'all. I can't right now. We have look at this, the Empress. Oh, talk about intuitive. And this is all about divine feminine, trying to keep this house from burning down to the ground. Trying to save the day. That was the whole purpose of whoever wrote this nervous letter. I don't know what to say, but let's keep it moving. We're going to get back to that. All right. So next up in line, Michael Jackson overdose. Well, I think we all know that there may have been some things going on, but he had top paid medical personnel and staff. Was this real accidental? You know what I'm saying? Was it a real accidental overdose or was it staged? We have romance here. Yeah, that's two people. No strings. It's almost like people who are together with something and then they cut ties. Hmm. A romance with no strings attached. Hmm. Fake busy. Someone who is pretending to be working, but they weren't really working. Someone who was, I call this a manipulation because this is clay being formed. You see what I'm saying? Someone was creating or making something happen, not happy. You first look at that, it looks like Michael Jackson's daughter, doesn't it? Paris, I believe. Manipulation, and someone was not happy about this. Okay, I'm done. This was a trap. There's an energy of this was staged. Moving on, number 6. I think you know what's coming next. Whitney Houston. I think before we do that, let's look at the tarot messages. I'm sorry. I thought we did that, but I didn't. Let's look at the tarot messages. My bad. My bad. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. And the 9 of Swords. Betrayal. Someone did this for money. Someone betrayed him for money. Someone was paid to go in and do this for some wish fulfillment. See? 5 of Swords. I cannot make this stuff up here. 5 of Swords under the deck, Ace of Cups. And they had some sort of a new beginning or something was put in this cup. Okay? 5 of Cups. Some sort of a new beginning, and it had to do with a loss. This is a lot of cups. We have 3 cups here. Friends. Friends that are gone, and then we have a partnership that's behind this person. So who are they in cahoots with, and who are the friends that are gone? See the 3 cups floating away? And then we have the 2 cups behind this person. You know, what is that? Take it how it resonates. Let's move on to number 7. The Anne Heche car accident. I had to ask. I have to do it. It doesn't seem real. It seems like it wasn't her that was operating that vehicle. Real or staged? Love message here. Love message. Ghosted. Off and on, hot and cold, and detached. Bad credit, debt, and unemployment. It's like some sort of debt. Paying for some sort of debt. Round and round, cycles, triggers, and lessons. I'm telling you, this is like somebody who, with love messages here, these people are together, they're very close, and then we have ghosted, off and on, hot and cold, and detached. It's like someone that was giving messages of love at one point in the past is now ghosted this person. There's some sort of debt that is owed, and we now have cycles here, or someone's being triggered. They've learned some sort of karmic, or there's some sort of karmic lesson that they're paying because of this debt. But it was someone that she was close to at some point, but then ghosted them. So tried to detach from these people, but there was some debt that was owed. But we have the Page of Pentacles here. This is all about recognition, somebody getting recognition, somebody being the star student, someone being the one that's been called on or being called on. I feel like perhaps this may have been some sort of a like request for fame, someone who wanted to be called on, have a lot of gigs, someone who wanted to be seen by others. And we have the King of Cups. This is all about distance. Y'all look. So they're going from being the star to not being called on, not getting a ton of bookings, not being heavily sought out for, being ghosted. Round and round. I feel like there's an energy of this person wanted to put an end to this situation. They felt that there's almost an energy of wanting to be out, wanting to get out of it. But also there's an energy of someone paying some sort of a debt. There was a message, some sort of a message that was sent. I think she was also trying to out some very bad people in the industry. Star, look at this, y'all. Being public, in the public eye, being seen, y'all. I can't make this up, honey. I can't make this up. And the 10 of Pentacles. Windfall. all of a sudden being very famous, very fortunate, having a lot of things, financial stability. Wow. And under the deck, rooted. Y'all, this is the Hierophant. Okay. This is all about some sort of a spiritual awakening. Okay. She was going through a spiritual awakening. And there was some truth that was being told behind the scenes. See, look, behind this spiritual awakening, we have the Seven of Wands. She was fighting a battle behind the scenes. The powers that be were involved. This is all about the Hierophant. This is fighting the higher ups or being in defense of yourself. But with that Nine of Wands, she was determined and she was not letting up. Whatever it was she was standing out about, speaking out about, finding out about, awakening to, she was standing on business with the Eight of Pentacles, y'all. Standing on business. I cannot. And wow. With the Eight of Swords, there's the energy of being bound. Was she bound by some sort of promise that was made in the past? Because we have the Magician. See, I feel like this is spiritually binding. This is an energy of not good situations going on with higher people and the higher ups, and then now all of a sudden this person wants out, and I feel like those people said no. And I feel like she was fighting back and speaking out about things that they didn't want spoken out about. And I'm going to leave it at that. Number 8. And this is definitely in the news as of today. Even more recent information that goes against this. But the Epi Island prison incident, was it a real thing that actually happened, or was this staged? Staged as in someone else did something, or even staged as in someone did something to someone. Or nothing happened and they made it look like something. Too many factors involved for that. But I feel more of the first end, that someone else did something. So we have toxic lifestyle coming out. Toxic lifestyle coming out. Karmic ties. Okay. Definitely have been said to have had some very, very karmic ties to some very, very big people. If you know, you know. We're not saying any names, really. Spell love. All right, this is all about someone who's manipulating a situation. So I feel like there's someone who is making this happen or who has caused this. This was, bumping heads. I'm telling you right now, there's bumping heads with someone who is tied to him. And this is very toxic. It could be very toxic to this person. They could lose everything. I feel like this was a situation where it was contracted to make it a thing. Let's see what the tarot messages say. Well, we have the Four of Wands. This is all about a commitment. Okay? This could also represent a contract. You see a new home, you think of somebody putting a contract down on a house. Yes, a commitment. A commitment. And the Page of Cups. That's all about being in your head, or surprise, the element of surprise. Someone was perhaps contracted to sneak up on him or come up behind him and do this. We have the Two of Pentacles here. Okay, this is all about someone who is really needing money, or someone who's trying to stretch their resources, perhaps get extra money on their books. They could have gotten another inmate to do this. This is what is being said or alleged. Two of Pentacles here, and the World. Yes, someone else was paid to bring this to an end. Someone was paid to bring closure to this matter. This was a contracted situation. Under the deck, look at this. The Fool. Someone took a risk. In the Strength card, they listen. This is somebody who had nothing to lose. This is somebody who was doing this to protect someone. Okay. And with the Two of Swords here, this is all secret. This is hidden. There was some sort of promise or a contract. Okay. And they got what they were promised. Look, the Warden of Wands, y'all. The Queen of Wands. Why does it say Warden, though? Look at this. Someone from the outside meddling, getting involved in between in a situation. This is all about outside help or someone coming in a situation. With the Two of Cups, again, some sort of a contract or a promise was made, y'all. I'm done. Not done. We've got one last one, the most recent, number 9, and this is Major General McCaslin's disappearance. Was this a real thing? Like, was there like a real plausible event? Or was this orchestrated to look as though he just disappeared? Okay. Which I feel like the latter in this case is actually a thing for him specifically. But let's just see. Because he was very, very sharp. Like they say, Nancy was quite sharp. She was sharp. He was sharp. Look, GPS. I cannot. Y'all, I can't. Y'all, he knew where he was going. I cannot right now. I believe that this card came out, but it did. Oh, it did. So I feel like he knows exactly where he is. See, we have illumination, truth, discovery, and awakening with GPS. Bro, he knew exactly where his destination was or where he was headed. With illumination, he discovered or was awakened to the fact that there was some sort of plot. People like him were disappearing or being off. Some bad things were happening, and he was like, you know what? I hate that I, am aware of this. I have this going on, but we're going to make sure that nothing happens to you. And this was a conversation I feel like he had with his spouse. Like she was aware that there was going to be a situation that he couldn't necessarily talk about, but that she would hear about. And look, I cannot believe I just pulled this card. Secrets. See, this was something that was a known secret. Okay? A known secret. And look, I miss you, y'all. This is sad. This is sad. This was a secret. He misses his family. He loves his family. I feel like that's one of the reasons why he even left. Okay? Wow. But he knows exactly where he was going. And he discovered that people were looking for him and he wanted to remain unfound. Let's put it that way. So, next in the tarot messages, we have the King of Swords. Listen, this is all about someone who feels justified. They're taking authority, they're taking action, and not so much action, but a sense of feeling justified in their actions. Do you see what I'm saying? Knowing that they're doing the right thing, or a sense of, you know, a sense of doing what they feel is the right thing and what they're justified in doing. Okay. And this person is trying to protect their life. Okay. And we have the Page of Wands. See, this person didn't think twice. There's an energy of they did what they felt was right and they didn't think twice. Period. Okay. There was not a thought process about it at all. This was all about, saving their skin. Okay. Protect themselves now. Think about heaven later. Okay. We'll think about the truth later. Okay. Secrets and I miss you. Keeping this a secret, knowing they have to walk away from their family. Look at this, y'all. The Seven of Swords, secrets. I cannot. Do you see what I'm seeing here? First of all, every single card that I've pulled oracle-wise has come out tarot-wise throughout this entire reading. Flipping unbelievable. Seven of Swords and the Chariot. I cannot. I have to go. You know what I'm saying? This is a secret. I'm keeping this on the hush, on the low, but I know in order to make it, in order to survive, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to do some traveling. I'm going to have to go away, far away from my loved ones as possible for now. Under the deck, the devil, y'all. See, this is all about some sort of an obsession. Feeling very much, I want to say, stuck in a situation. Okay. Not able to get out, bound with the Two of Wands. Okay. This is also an energy of someone who's having to plan their way out. Someone who's trying to come up with a plan to separate from this devil energy. What else do we have under the deck? Look, Six of Wands. Hold on, something else. Okay, we have the King of Wands. See, someone making plans, planning ahead. And with the Six of Wands, this is all about winning, success, being victorious, and being victorious with what? The Three of Swords. Some sort of separation, okay, an energy of getting away or separating themselves. And this is also very hurtful because this is their family, okay? This is their family, and this is all of a sudden with the Knight of Swords here, all of a sudden having to go in a different direction, okay? Yeah, Three of Wands, movement, having to leave, right? Having to leave. So I hope you guys enjoyed the message, okay? You let me know what you think in the comments. 1 through 9, was it real or was it staged? All right, and in this case, it appears to have been staged, okay? All right, I love you guys, and I will see you on the next conspiracy. Take care. Bye.